Fallout 4 has a lot of perks. Some might even say too many, given that some of them feel like they only exist to arbitrarily make sure that every special category has at least 10 to offer, and even then, some feel like they really don't fit where they are. Personally, I think that Refractor, being a perk that decreases the damage taken from energy weapons, should really be an endurance perk, not a perception perk, but that would take endurance up to 11 and perception down to 9, so I guess it has to be there. Then there's all the countless damage boosting perks based on weapons wielded, which never really made a huge amount of sense to me. Yeah, Fallout 3 and New Vegas dabbled in this as well, with skill points subtly improving how much weapon damage you were dealing, and some perks in New Vegas increased the damage with certain weapon types, but the former was so subtle I didn't even notice it was a thing until I did my reviews on them, and the latter feels more RPG focused because the damage buff is applied to guns associated with archetypes rather than just a classification of gun. And then let's not forget the perks that are just utterly worthless, like Vans, or to a lesser extent, Idiot Savant. The former is a directional marker that literally doesn't need to exist because it doesn't even provide you with the most expedient route 9 times out of 10, and Fallout 4's open world is deceptively small, so it would take some actual skill to get lost in it in the first place. The latter is a perk that gives you a small amount of XP for random actions like opening doors or stuff. It's only really effective if you have a low intelligence character, and given that some of the best perks are intelligence based and require some hefty investments, why would anyone do that to themselves? Why would you bother? Honestly, the perks are kind of exhausting, so my question is, do we actually need any of them to beat the game? Can we play as the blandest, most jack-of-no-trades person we possibly could and still get to the end of the game in a minimal amount of time and with as few deaths as possible? Let's have a go, shall we? So welcome, gentle viewer, I'm Ronica, this is my channel, and today I'm seeing if Fallout 4 is beatable without taking any of the level up perks. Perks, of course, for the uninitiated, are basically passive skills that unlock more interactions for a player in the game they're playing. This should be interesting. Without any perks to take, my damage boosts are all going to rely on me finding better and better weapons, and since mods will be mostly inaccessible to me at workbenches and my stim pack healing is going to be capped at 30% of my max HP per pack, we're potentially in for a really rough time. We also won't be able to unlock most of the doors or terminals, our sneaking will suck more than usual, if that's even possible, because I'm terrible at sneaking, and we can't even take the basic options to improve the loot we find in random containers. Let's see how this goes. Of course, we now have to define the rules. I may not at any point take any of the 70 perks on their various ranks throughout this run. Perks being anything that appears in the perk section of the Pip-Boy. This also means I can't sleep in an owned bed since that grants a perk, and I cannot use chems. I may add level up points to my special skills since these are fundamental aspects to the character that exist regardless, but that's about it. I cannot pick up any of the bobbleheads or magazines as these provide passive perks and buffs that would invalidate the run. I also won't be picking up the just stat boosting bobbleheads even though they don't provide any bonuses, or the Your Special book that grants you 1 free point. I just don't think I want to. I can also not use any legendary gear of any kind. Each piece of legendary gear comes with a unique perk, and whilst they won't be added to my perks if I use them, I don't want to trivialise this run. I can still use all basic weapons and armour, including power armour, because that doesn't give you a perk when you're inside it, but no legendary items at all. No Righteous Authority, no lucky leg piece, no enchanted cod piece of willies. You get the point, no legendary gear. I cannot recruit companions, the usual caveat is in place for quest necessary NPCs, but as always we'll be doing this solo, and I must complete either the nuclear option or nuclear family quest to end the run. I realise those are back to front on the screen, but bleh. And for a fun little bonus objective, I only have 3 lives. If I die more than that, the run is officially over. I mean, I'll still probably keep playing it, but it'll be officially invalid after that point. We'll show these lives in the top left-hand corner of the screen with these Estus flasks. You might be asking, Ronica, why not use a stim pack for a Fallout video? Why an Estus flask? Because I can, that's the entire reason. So with all that said and done, we can blast off. Be sure to do the like video thing if you enjoy yourself and sub for more content. I do game runs and reviews, so if you like that sort of stuff, you can come here for the show. So yeah, there we go. I love you all. Let's begin. Starting off, we're building our character. I'm going to try and make someone who looks a little bit, I don't know, underwhelming. We are basically going to be playing as a jack of no trades throughout this entire run, so might as well look the part. Now we just stand awkwardly in the corner of our room until the salesman knocks at our door and we can finally finish building our character. First up, the name. As is the tradition of these runs, I try to make the name something that fits the character. Something that will represent who we're going to be. Perfect. Now we're just going to spread out all our points until our stats are all the same number. For this run I do wish we could start with like 1 point in everything and then just have to build up from there, but that's not the way Fallout 4 works, so we have to start with a 4 in everything. Either way, that's our character built, so now let's skip ahead to us waking up in the vault. We'll see you after the end of the world. Let me just clumsily fall out of the thing. There we go, let's begin. This is one of those runs where I can use the weapons I find in the vault, so I don't have to run away from the roaches like I'm the biggest pussy on earth. At this point in the run, I'm already kind of thinking about who I should join later, but I also realise this character being so basic, I don't really have a good idea, so we're probably just going to random number generate it later. I guess random name generate it later, but We are also going to be trying to just stick to the main path and not do too many side quests if we can avoid it. I know that's essentially my mission statement for all of these videos, but just in case you're new, that's how we play this. We just try to get to the end of the main story, and that's how we determine whether or not we've won the run. Also, because of the very nature of this character, there are just going to be plenty of optional quests that I simply can't do. Basically, any quest in this game that has a higher than novice level skill requirement for me to do a thing, yeah, that's not something we can do. Oh boy, am I rusty at this game. It's been quite a while since I've even, like, looked at it, so I'm, not doing this as elegantly as I could. I also really don't need to be wasting this ammo. Ammo is going to be expensive in this run because I'm not going to be able to take any of the perks that mitigate that fact, so yeah, might just have to beat things to death a little bit more often. Oh hey look, we found our Pip-Boy. Sorry random scientist, I know this is really rude and all, but like, I want it. Ta-da! We've got our Pip-Boy, and now we can check something real quick. Ah, empty, just the way we like it. We'll make sure to periodically check on this window throughout the game to make sure that I'm not bending the rules. Like I said in the intro, the goal of the game is to keep this page essentially empty. Anything that adds a perk to this page, we can't do or engage with. Surprisingly, quite a lot of things that I thought would add perks to this page actually don't, like the power armor doesn't add any sort of perk to that page, but sleeping in an owned bed will add a perk to that page, even if it is only temporary, so we won't be able to do that. So let's step out into the wasteland and begin our adventure in earnest. Since I'm not letting myself pick up the magazine or your special book, we are basically just going to skip right through Sanctuary. Well, no, I will first stop and cook up some yummy meat. We are going to go and meet Preston and the Minutemen and help them out, mostly to get used to this character in a proper combat setting. Ooh, grenades. Hey, Rady boy, do you have a shotgun for me? What? No? You bastard. Well, I'm still going to take your tire iron. It's like a 1-point damage boost over the security baton. Ooh, look, a rifle. Not a good rifle, but a rifle all the same. Let me just hotkey some stuff real quick. And as always, we're going to be skipping past Dogbeat. It's fine. We'll meet him later when we go on the search for Kellogg, because Nick Valentine just happens to know this one particular dog. This story is a mess. Anyway, let's see how we handle these raiders. Huh, that did more damage than I was expecting. I mean, to be fair, these guys are like level 0. But like this, right here, this was the damage I was expecting. But then again, I am all the way on the other end of the street and I'm shooting at a guy with a thing made of old pipes. Generally speaking, this is why I don't really like the pipe weapons. They just don't do enough damage to really be worth considering. I mean, if I'm desperate, I'll switch to one. But I really hope I'm not that desperate throughout the rest of this run. I mean, I think it looks kind of cool, but like, you know, I can't justify it. And it looks like Preston dealt with the final raider. I still don't think you actually needed my help, bro. But as always, with that quest complete, we've got our first level up. Since I can't put my points into any skills, I'm just going to be putting them directly onto the stats for a little bit of a boost. We're going to go with luck. I'm going to just pump luck until it's full, and then I'll just pick a different stat to pump. I did initially toy with the idea of just leaving them all at 4, but the combat boosts we get from them are so minor that I don't think it's really a big problem. Plus, having unused stat points makes me aggressively uncomfortable. So, let's get on with dealing with these raiders. Ooh, that was good. Although, to be fair, I probably don't want to use all of this ammo because I find 38 rounds are really good to just sell. So I think we're just going to tire iron this next fool. Oh yeah, I forgot how satisfying that was. I still couldn't tell you exactly why parts of these raiders' bodies just like to burst like pimples, but I'm so glad they do. And yeah, we might as well get a hold of the fusion core while we're down here. Save us trekking up and down too much. You know what, I know earlier I said that I want to conserve my ammo, but I also really want to shoot some raiders, so let's just do that. Well, that was, kind of underwhelming. But hey, look, we've finally got a shotgun. Not going to use it yet, though. We're going to keep it for slightly bigger things that are slightly harder to hit. Generally, I find it's not a bad tool against Yao Guai or rad scorpions, which we'll find later. I'm gonna take this. Thank you. Beautiful. Hi, Preston. Help us fight the raiders. Okay. It is such a shame that I'm not letting myself pick up the collectibles. I really want to. Well, let's not waste any time. Hop into power armor, and just to double check, yep, no perks whatsoever. Grab the minigun. Now we're a death-dealing machine of death-dealing. Probably could have stopped that sentence sooner. Anyway, Daka time. Oh yeah, I forgot how arse this weapon is. Okay, Admiral Cuddles, come on out, it's time for our fight. Cards on the table, I did try to lure it into this building to see if it would base jump to its death again. Not for any strategic advantage, just because I find that really funny. Sadly, Admiral Cuddles here didn't get to where she is now by falling for such basic tricks, so sorry viewers, no base jumping Deathclaw. I know, I'm disappointed too. There's really not a whole lot to see in this entire fight. Given that at this point in the game you're most likely not going to have any significant perks anyway, it's basically going the same way it always goes. The Deathclaw wants a cuddle, I don't want a cuddle from the Deathclaw, I give it minigun bullets instead. It wasn't too fond of the minigun bullets instead, it dies because of minigun bullets. It's the circle of life or some such rubbish. Pfft, circle of life. Everyone knows life is a rhombus. No, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, shut up. Hey Preston, I helped you. Thanks. You're welcome. Wanna come to Sanctuary? No. I mean, I am gonna go there and drop my power armor off, and hey, you never know, depending on how my random roll goes later, I might actually have to help you. Oh, I don't want to help you. As you can see, I did think about upgrading the power armor, but I don't have the parts for it yet. Luckily, the only upgrade I have to do to all the pieces is get them to T45B. That's literally all I'll be able to do. We might as well see what we can do to our weapons. I have been gathering a lot of junk after all. Well, for the 10mm we've already got a bunch of options, but the sad thing is this is exactly the same as it's going to look in several hours. Do you know what's really weird about Fallout 4? It has all these weapon mods, but no merchant will ever sell them. I think I found one mod in one merchant's inventory for a power armor at one point, but that was like ages ago, and I'm not even sure if it was supposed to be there or not. I guess the game just really wants you to build them yourself rather than buy them with capitalism. By the Titan, Fallout 4's a commie game. Oh no, we have to put it on the list of commie games. I mean, I say that as a joke, but I'm fully aware that our world is very stupid. Someone's definitely made that list at least once. Anyway, adventure beckons. It's Trash Can Carla. Let's see if she has anything useful for us. Carla, it's actually considered very rude to clip into things while I'm talking to you. Guess someone forgot to program you with any manners. You're lucky I'm desperate. Just gonna sell off all those guns that I don't need. Now, let's see. Oh, she has some leather armor bits, so I should probably get those. Now we just get dressed randomly in the open. Now we're ready to Mad Max everything. Oh fuck, random dogs. Definitely no chance that audio gets taken out of context. Have at you fleering felines. It's not even close. I tried to say furballs and felines at the same time, but felines that's cats. What was I trying to do? Is that supposed to be burning? Gonna go with no, and that would have been a really embarrassing way to have our first death. Why did I orbit around a clearly about to explode thing? What was my plan there? Not gonna lie, I really thought that explosion would have done those dogs in. I guess the game still hasn't forgiven me for trying to set fire to everything it loves. Now then, on to Trudy. Would you believe that I was able to talk her down with a single attempt? No? Good, because I couldn't. Sorry Wolfgang, I tried to make this end in not murder, but Trudy really wants it to end in murder, so no hard feelings, Kay. You know, I switched to the laser musket because I remember it being an absolute unit, but I forgot that's only because I upgraded it a lot in that one run. At base level like this, it's fairly fucking awful. And sadly, I won't be able to bring it up to that level of power because, you know, no perks. Oh fuck, I'm now kind of dreading having to fight any legendary enemies. There you go, Trudy, I helped your son weasel out of his debt. Homer Simpson would be proud. You got anything good for me? Yeah, not particularly, but with that quest done, we've hit another... Oh, no we haven't. Guess I'll just go fuck myself then. I'll just sneak through Lexington. Yep, there we go. Now I can add that point onto luck. Yay, that's definitely gonna help. It's not going to be as helpful in this run as it would be in others, but I might as well rob the bank while I'm in town, get all that pre-war money. That's just free caps. You know what, I'm kind of itching for another fight, so let's beat up these raiders. Or I guess, shoot them up, you know what I mean. There are raiders here, and we're gonna stop the raiders from being here. Well, we're gonna stop these ones from being here. I'm not gonna try and take out the one with the fat man, I'm not that stupid. Okay, well that's debatable, but I'm definitely not stupid enough to try it without a scoped weapon this time around. Since we're heading in that direction, I think I will do the fire support quest when I get there, just because that way we've kind of gotten in with the Brotherhood, just in case that's how the roll goes later. I won't do ArcJet Systems just yet though, we'll only do that if we actually land on Brotherhood. Before we get there though, as I learned fairly recently, there's always a sniper rifle on top of this building, so we might as well go and get it. Take that, you malicious mongrels! See, that one was actually right. Ooh, the fire is pretty. No, we're not doing that again, we've already done enough arson to last a lifetime, which is honestly any amount above 0. There we go, sniper rifle, and yep, no ammo for it. Real helpful ammo box. We might as well take a nap here. Because this bed isn't owned by us, we won't get any benefits aside from passing some time and recovering some health. Although it is kinda gross to think that the only mattresses this character will deign to use are the ones that are stained by 1,000 raider butts. And you know that they're not washing their asses. Anyway, let's go and help some soldiers who really don't actually need our help, so why is this quest? Nah, for real, I never understood this. The feral ghouls have to get really lucky to be able to down dads. And you've got Scribe Halen over there providing cover fire, and these feral ghouls go down in only a couple of shots, so I feel like if we got here and the Brotherhood of Steel guys were already incapacitated, that might have framed the quest a little bit better. I don't know, Fallout 4's weird. Hi dads, I helped you. Good job, soldier, you wanna help us more? No. But with that, the quest is done and we've got our next level up. Give me that extra point of luck. Oh boy, so helpful. I mean, it's kind of helpful for like VATs and, you know, criticals, but only by like, you know, a little bit. I think we should take some time to get used to our sniper rifle. It has been a long time since I've played a game with anything approaching sniping mechanics. So let's see how well we do. Well, I can still hit stationary targets, so that's good. What about this guy who's kind of moving around slightly? Fuck. Nailed it. And now for the dog. What smells like burning? Oh, it's just my searing flesh. The fire has once again forsaken me. So, amongst all other things, I guess the sacred flame is a really irritating ex. Oh, you dick. Yeah, that was definitely worth the ammo investment, Ronica. You definitely couldn't have just swapped to your pistol or walked up to it and battered it. No, you definitely had to spend an energy cell there, didn't you, you dumb fuck? Nah, but for reals, this whole thing wasn't too bad. To be fair to the game though, this is still a very early level area where perks would already be minimal. I dread to think what we're going to have to deal with later when it comes to the glowing sea and the courser and then potentially the Brotherhood of Steel if we end up fighting against them. Enemies can get really tanky in this game. Ah, look what we found in here. A magazine that we can't take. To be completely honest, if I took this magazine, I wouldn't get any use out of it because I don't eat fruits or vegetables in this game, just like in real life. But the rules... Well, that scared the shite out of me. That was my oven making a weird noise. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Something about not having perks clogging up the intake or something. We've almost made it to Diamond City, and as always, we've passed these 2 Diamond City security guards who are shooting at some super mutants, and I kinda want to help them out. Don't worry, boys. Meh Tilda is here to, you know, exist. I mean, to be fair, an extra gun on their side is definitely going to help. Maybe let's swap to a real gun and not a fucking wind-up toy. Look, again, the laser musket is brilliant when you spec into it, but I really can't do that. I'd love to spin you some sort of tale about how these super mutants pushed me to my limits, but they kinda didn't. They've only got that one high-level super mutant that's anything to worry about, but just look at how much of a chunk of health I took off with a single round to the face. It took me a grand total of 3 bullets to kill this one big super mutant up here, and the Diamond City security guards kinda handled the rest. Yet again, I really don't think they actually needed my help. I mean, maybe with the big boy on top, but they could probably solve that problem on their own if they'd stop using old bits of pipe as weapons. I mean, fuck's sake, they've got a gun salesman in town who sells better weapons than that. How the fuck is this vital security force not made some sort of deal to get better armaments? It's baffling. Your town is much less likely to get taken over by a rabid horde of mutants if your security force aren't armed with fucking plumbing. By the Titan, you're lucky an angry bowl of cereal stole my baby and this is the only lead I have. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother with your weird little town. To quote every employer I've ever had, you're lucky I'm desperate. Before we do get on with that whole missing infant thing, I am going to quickly pop to the weapon shop and see if I can grab anything better than what I've got. I was able to buy a handful of 308 rounds for way too much fucking money, but other than that, he doesn't really have anything that jumps out at me. We might as well also see what weapon upgrades we can do. Cool, so like fuck all. To be fair, I've not been picking up a whole lot of junk on this run. Because I'm stuck at all the novice levels for crafting, my brain has kind of gone, well, we don't need any of that, but like, we do. We still need it. Excuse me, I'm looking for a detective. He's not here. That's what she sounds like. Where is he? He's been kidnapped! Oh no! Go and help him! Okay. Hey folks, I see you're doing a whole standoff thing here. That's not really any of my business. I know you're probably jumpy, but please don't shoot me while I walk past this thing. Before we leave town, I'll quickly go and do Piper's interview. What do you think of the wasteland? It sucks. Do you have any hope? Not particularly. Any final messages for our readers? Licking doorknobs is illegal on other planets. Please leave. Okay. But there we go, next level. Oh, so many decisions, luck. Anyway, let's go find Nick Valentine. You know, maybe next time I do this, I'll go a different way because I'm getting so bored of this direction. Even the feral ghouls don't really liven things up. Oh, no, maybe they do. I'm wrong. I'm very wrong. I won't lie to you, I was actually kind of worried that my first step of the run would be against these fucking zombies. Wait, isn't zombie like a slur for ghouls or something? It's fine, they're all already dead. Maybe I should ask this raider if they think I did anything wrong. I'm sure a morally upstanding citizen like themselves can tell me. Well, could in the past tense, but there we go, we've reached a Boston Common. And you know what, I'm gonna make use of this laser rifle I took off that Dead Brotherhood of Steel guy from way back when. It's no righteous authority, but I figured the trigger men in the train station below will just be happy that I came. Yeah, that's pretty good damage, and because of all those points I've put into luck, we're still building a critical meter fairly quickly. It's just rather than getting it done in 3 shots, we have to get it done in like 5 shots. As the doctors told my mum when I was born, it could definitely be a lot worse. As you can see, I very nearly died here as well, which, like with the feral ghouls earlier, really doesn't bode well for the later parts of this run. Like, arguably, I'm fine now because everything still deals relatively low damage and doesn't have too much health, but let's face it, we're already struggling to keep pace with these bad guys. I feel like I'm either gonna have to get really good at taking these sniping shots, which, judging by my current performance, is probably not going to be too bad. Somehow not playing Fallout 4 for ages has helped my aim improve. I mean, yeah, a lot of these guys are just sort of standing there, but come on, you've seen my former videos, you know exactly how terrible I am at shooting. They say Vogons are the worst marksman in the galaxy, but I feel like I have claimed to that award, or at least I did before I got good. Sweet dreams, buddy. Okay, what the fuck, that almost always alerts the other guards immediately, so why are they taking so long to realise something's happening? Oh, there we go, they've woken up a little bit. Well, the last one alive has anyway. I'ma do this with the 10mm. Ah, there we go, back to my terrible shooting. Or, maybe not, I'm actually hitting the target a bunch now. On a side note, it's gotta really suck being able to eat so many bullets because there's no way that doesn't hurt like a massive bitch. Anyway, there's a vault down here, Nick's probably inside, so let's head in. Hi, Trigger Man. Bye, Trigger Man. I love the dude in here with the baseball bat. He hears his friend get shot to death and he just tries to slowly amble away. Fire in the hole.
Because they weren't planning to use it.
Don't get me wrong, I might be a Molotov cocktail enthusiast with the way they burst on impact, but that frag grenade explosion in Fallout 4 is just, ooh, something nice. Well, not for the people getting caught in it, but that's kind of a them problem. Boom. Headshot. Boom. Critical headshot. I have to admit, when you exit out of that after doing a critical hit that kills someone, I like how the person still goes all slowly. Like, they really didn't intend for you to be doing that. And oh fuck, I'm about to die again. I should probably take this a bit more seriously. You know what, because we've got a surplus of ammo for the thing, I might as well use the submachine gun for a bit. Oh yeah, right, it's terrible. I mean, yeah, if you can get all your bullets to hit a target, it will melt their health bar like nobody's business. It just takes so many. I mean, look at this guy right here. I do more damage in a single bash than one of these bullets does. Why do video games hate automatic weapons so much? One shot, one kill, or fuck me, I guess. Thanks, Fallout 4, I definitely needed your help to make myself look like a twat. Definitely haven't got that covered on my own. Hi, Mr. Valentine. Yeah. I'm missing my baby. Yeah. Okay. Actually, Detective, wait up a second. I'm almost at level 7. Let me just pick this lock real quick. There we go. This has got to look really weird to other NPCs, like I just randomly do a thing, then pull out this big poster I'm carrying around on me for some reason, and then suddenly I know how to do something I didn't before. But just like that, we've made it to 10 points of luck. I think next level up I'm going to start pumping endurance, mostly because in combat encounters I keep losing way too much health and I don't really have any ways to mitigate this. I guess I could get into power armor, but like, I don't want to be repairing it every 5 minutes. Anyway, fire in the hole again. I can't help but think in real life I probably shouldn't be throwing military-grade frag grenades around the inside of an unfinished vault. Kind of feel like I'm asking for a cave-in of some sort. Oh yeah, on top of the terrible damage, I hate the recoil of this thing. Like, none of these triggermen start with their guns having the full stock that they could use to actually control this. I really don't get why so many guys in the Commonwealth have just sawed their weapons off. It's just so stupid. We just keep sacrificing range and control for no good reason. The first time I played this game and found a hunting rifle that was like stockless, I was like, how the fuck is this a rifle? It's more like a pistol with a bolt. Who is this for? Seriously, who is this for? So this bit had me a little bit worried. We're losing way too much health. I actually had to start using cover in Fallout 4. You know Fallout 4's cover system that everyone forgets about? Yeah, I had to use it, like a pleb. Hey, let's see if charging at him with a machete that I found will do any better. Huh, that actually did a lot better. If you're wondering where I picked this machete up from, I fully don't remember. It was either in a box or in a guy. Well, moment of truth time, Skinny Malone is behind that door and I am not looking forward to this. Nah, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Darla, please come home. No, I'm not coming home. Okay, oh fuck me running. I better just chug all this water in the middle of this firefight like some sort of psychopath. Anyway, Darla goes down fairly easily. Now all we have to do is worry about the machine gun toting gangsters that are currently cutting off our escape. It's kind of weird that they wouldn't give her some sort of gun. I mean, oh fuck, that's way too many holes. Serious medical question, if my liver kind of falls out of one of these big gunshot wounds, that's not something to worry about, right? Also, is it safe to eat all this food while I'm currently missing 90% of my stomach? I'd asked my doctor, but they gave up on me when they realised my blood was 90% Dr. Pepper. I'm a medical abomination. Oh, okay, fuck, I'll take this seriously. That was way too many broken limbs for my liking, which honestly should be any number above 0. Not gonna lie, my plan to invest in endurance from this point on is probably the best move. I should also stop trying to use this fucking terrible submachine gun. Eat lasers, dickhead. Okay, that was really more the fire that killed him, but you know what? I'm counting it, fuck you. Hi Nick, I saved your life, could you help me find my baby? Yeah. Okay. You know what, before I go and see Nick in the office, I should probably go to Diamond City Surplus and see if I can find any bits of junk to upgrade my weapons with. I could also sell off a bunch of the extra stuff that I'm carrying, because I just haven't been storing any of it. I've not built a single storage container anywhere, which I normally do at least once. I should probably do that. Now, Percy here didn't have any junk that I actually wanted, but what he did have was a 10mm pistol with a reflex sight. So I scooped it up so I could take the sight from it and add it to my main 10mm. Oh, I also took the grip from it because it was also better than my main one. I then spent a little extra time renaming all my main weapons. So we've got the 10mm, the snipe meh rifle, the mer, which is literally the only thing I can think to call my shotgun. I couldn't think of a pun-based name. And then we've got the lays rifle, and we top it all off with the machete, officially completing our theme of mediocrity. Let's now sit down and give Nick Valentine the most detailed explanation of things I can. Yeah, what's going on, Dollface? I'm so glad you asked. I guess the real problems begin the day I was born. My mother looked down at me with cold indignation as if I was some sort of parasite. Crap. And I guess that covers everything up to my teenage years. Yeah, what does any of this have to do with your kidnapped baby? Oh shit, right. Wonderful. There we go, we're finally on our way to Kellogg's house to do a good old-fashioned home invasion. My favourite.
That's one heck of a walk. Something to hide, Kellogg. Why don't you give it a try?
Huh? Okay. Yep. That is certainly locked.
Really...
Well, let's go and bribe someone to let us in. Hi, Mr. Mayor, can you help me do crime? No, my citizens' safety and such and such and such and such. Okay. Hi, Miss Secretary, can you help me do crime? No, oh, you know, integrity and all that. What if I give you money? Okay. There we go, let's go and invade Kellogg's privacy. Hi Nick, I'm back from doing crime. Let's jump right into another. It's okay, he did kidnapping and murder. I feel like these are freebies. Press the big red threatening button, open the secret room. Ah, no, Kellogg. Guess we've got a call on dog meat. I'm sure we can definitely trust this canine. Although that said, I trust dogs more than I trust people. Most dogs I meet are very nice to me. A lot of humans, not so much. Step up your game, apes that could use a toilet. You're being one-upped by dogs who can't. We're off to find a balanced breakfast. I sure hope a Deathclaw doesn't spawn in this one area because that happens sometimes, usually when I'm grossly underprepared for it. Oh, no Deathclaw. Okay, thanks Fallout 4. I mean that sincerely. By the Titan, it feels so weird to say thank you to Fallout 4 and not mean it as a really sarcastic jab. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure we'll get there eventually. This is Fallout 4 after all. On the way, we have to deal with the usual ambushes, that one big group of mole rats that really don't like us. At least they gave us a level up. I'll take 1 point of endurance, thank you very much. Then we have the pack of wild dogs, always a classic. And we can't forget radioactive Winnie the Pooh. I'd say don't ask what it did to Christopher Robin, but it's a zombie bear. What the fuck do you think it did? I've also just discovered a very effective way of dealing with this Yaoguai. You see, it doesn't know how to navigate this log properly. All you have to do is jump over it, and it just has to walk around the entire thing to get anywhere near you, and because this is an entirely melee-focused opponent, I can just shoot at it with impunity. For you see, I am the greatest power in this land. I have the ability to fucking jump. You don't even have to jump, you can just kind of walk over it and the game is perfectly fine with that. The bear can't though. The bear that lives in the woods and has to navigate this sort of obstacle on a daily basis can't figure this out, but apparently I'm the god queen of nature and I've got all the powers. I'm not even mad, this is a genuinely useful exploit. And of course, further down the road we've got the usual nest of ghouls. Bortles! Well, that didn't work. I really thought the Molotov would go through the window. Yeah, not gonna pretend that one didn't annoy me a little bit. I mean, one of the ghouls is on fire, so I guess it still technically kind of got him. Couldn't tell you how the fuck that worked. Now will you please die already? I swear, feral ghouls have the worst manners. Look, 200 years of radiation decaying your brain is no excuse for being a meanie. The Dalai Lama said that. Please don't fact check me. Ah, Fort Hagen, my favourite synth-infested dungeon. If my first death is going to come from anywhere, it's probably going to be here. Before we do go in there though, I'm going to quickly go back to Diamond City, cook up all that meat I found on those poor innocent animals that were all trying to kill me. They weren't so innocent. See if I can do any weapon upgrades. Well, I can improve the sights on my laser rifle, that's something. Same is true for my shotgun, I can give it glow sights, which is nice, but that's about it really. Ooh, I can upgrade my leather armor, which is kind of helpful because this next dungeon is going to be filled with enemies using laser guns. There we go, I look kinda sorta different almost. Let's go and kick the shit out of Kellogg. This particular dungeon is where things got a little bit rough. You see, while I am wearing armor that is technically better at resisting damage from energy weapons, each individual piece is like, you know, single digits. That, and we are in a confined space and there's a lot of synths. Flashing back to that time I beat this thing with no medical equipment, I know it's doable, but that character was something of a glass cannon, at least her damage output wasn't terrible. Mine, needs to be better. At least we're not at risk of running out of ammo anytime soon. As we all know, these simps drop a lot of batteries. Oh fuck me, I'm almost dead. Time to use my special skill of hiding behind a wall and hoping they all go away. Haha, you fell for my ruse, robot man. Get vaporized. Is it just me, or do those particular VAT shots where you barely do anything but it's still all dramatic just kind of feel really mean? I can almost hear the game saying, now let me just nicely frame your inadequacy. It's like, thank you Fallout 4, yep, definitely needed that morale boost. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure how this happened, but I managed to survive everything the dungeon threw at me. I'm not saying I didn't take a fuckload of damage and end up burning through almost every healing item I had, but despite how dramatic I'm being, my damage numbers aren't actually all that bad. Given that by this point in a normal run, you'll definitely have at least a couple of points sunk into something like Rifleman, or Big Leagues, or Brawler, or Gunslinger, or Commando if you're wrong. It's kind of surprising that the amount of health these synths have doesn't seem to be that big a deal. Also, my aiming has gotten significantly better apparently, so taking them out at long range isn't really a problem. And for those who are causing a problem, grenades. I'm not gonna lie, at this point I'm feeling pretty damn confident. I feel like the battle against the mighty balanced breakfast is gonna go fairly smoothly. Of course, that's not to say that I'm not gonna try and rig things in our favour. I brought some pulse grenades, bitch, which I found just lying around in this building. It's a military base, why did I say that so dismissively? Anyway, show me what you've got, cornflakes. As always, the main thing we have to be concerned about is the fact that his pistol does a lot of damage. He also really likes to throw grenades at us when we hide in this corridor for too long. So after this grenade is done doing its thing, I'm gonna actually enter the main room and do battle with him properly, because standing out here is a death sentence. The second main thing we have to worry about is the fact that we can't target him in VATS for the majority of this fight because he uses a stealth boy, like a cheating scrub. And seeing just how fast my health is going down every time he hits me, my confidence is definitely waning. Prepare yourself for my critical... well, shite. I know I shouldn't be surprised, he is quite literally a boss, but like... still, rude. I did very briefly toy with the idea of taking him out in melee, but since that damage is even worse than all of my guns, you know what, I'm sure the guns will be fine. It's not doing atrocious damage, and if we can just avoid taking too many unnecessary hits, then everything sucks forever. So that didn't exactly work, and we've now lost a life. Our first life of the run. Yay! Why is that a yay? That's bad. That's bad. Now this might be something of a controversial take, but I don't think that attempt was the worst it could have been. The big problem I have is that I don't think about what I'm doing half the time and I just stand there stupidly and let a guy shoot me. I really need to be staying mobile. So now you might be thinking, but Ronica, if hiding in this corridor is the wrong move and staying still is the wrong move, why are you doing both of those things? Because I'm stupid. Or at least that's what I would be saying if this whole thing didn't work. Okay, so I might have tipped the scales by throwing in one final grenade, but in my defense, it worked. If there's one thing this run is doing, it's really making me appreciate the frag grenade and how much I've overlooked it in my playthroughs before. I find the Molotovs more immediately satisfying because they break on impact and the sound design is really good, but those frag grenades, they are just They're just doing some work. Hi, Pridwin. Hello. I might have to blow you up later. Aww. Any hoodly doodle, with Kellogg dead, we can now head back to Nick Valentine and talk about the case. Hi, Nick, I killed our only lead. Yeah? But I did steal his brain. Yeah. Before we rush off to the memory den in Good Neighbor to do some deeply questionable things to this grey matter, we got another level up to take care of. Oh, so many perks. 1 point of endurance, please. I won't lie to you, it's making my brain a bit itchy not taking any of these perks, but, you know, I'm muddling through. My trip to Good Neighbor wasn't particularly eventful. I mean, yeah, there was some feral ghouls. There's always feral ghouls, and I did try my luck with the super mutants further down the road before deciding I'm actually just going to run away like a big coward. Stepping into Good Neighbor, I re-engage with one of my favourite new traditions, that being shooting Finn in the face. That did not work as well as it could have. Guess we're going to be having a bit of a fight. You really do have to appreciate, though, just how much of a fuck everyone in Good Neighbor doesn't give about this guy. It's like they all know he's going to die one way or the other and are just not interested in interfering. After receiving congratulations from the mayor for doing violence really well, I head over to the memory den, go inside and speak to Dr. Amari. Hi Doc, I need to invade a brain, can you help? Of course you can help, we've done this song and dance so many times. Since we're all way too familiar with this section by now, I'm just gonna skip to the next important thing, where we get out of the brain and go hunting for Brian Virgil in the glowing sea. Like usual, what I'm gonna do is go to the edge of the glowing sea, discover it, and then go back and get my power armor so I can face it properly. Oh hey look, in that random encounter location, some scorpions are fighting some stingwings. I guess they're jealous because they can fly. Honestly, scorpions, same. I sort of just waited for the scorpion to finish off the stingwings before I started shooting, and oh hello, that's a bit close for comfort, mate, I'm not gonna lie to you, and ho, this does not bode well. Rad scorpions are fairly common in the glowing sea, they're very resistant to energy weapons, so we can't really be wasting laser rifle ammo on it, so shotgun is kinda the best way to go since they move around so much, but I had to critical hit this one in the face just to get it to stop moving, everything else was just kinda tickling it. Let's also remember that we're playing Fallout 4, and therefore sometimes the rad scorpion pincers inflict venom on you, because that's how that's supposed to work. Fortunately enough, the rest of the journey went perfectly fine. I got to the edge of the glowing sea in like 5 minutes. It's both kind of an upside and a downside that over the past few years, I've sort of clocked what the best routes are in Fallout 4 to get to a place you need to go without encountering too much resistance. It's a pro because I can get from A to B fairly quickly, it's a con because I kind of circumvent a fair amount of challenge doing this. Anyway, let's go and fetch my power armor. Look how close to leveling up I am. You know what's probably a good idea? I should probably at least get these pieces to model B so they can take a bit more damage. That will basically be the limit of our power armor resistance unless we find a better set, so we might as well. Let me do the head. Ooh, cool, we leveled up. Let me do the arm, and oh crap, we're out of materials. Guess I better go shopping. Luckily Carla's hanging around the settlement so I can get a couple of pieces from her. I'm not playing with a huge amount of caps, so I can't exactly buy a shipment of stuff just to get me to where I need to be, but she did have enough parts within my price range so I can upgrade the other arm. There we go, now we just have to go to Diamond City and hope to do better with the RNG. Hey, crazy murder, what have you got for me? And you know what, while we're in town, we'll quickly visit the dock and get all of our radiation cured and all of our bones replaced. I also threw that level up point onto endurance. Luckily, the Titan smiled upon me and I now have a shiny, well, not rusty version of T45 power armor. Hooray! Now I can survive a brutal Deathclaw bumming. So let's hop inside and finally take on the glowing sea. It feels good to be back in this radioactive hellscape. I mean that sincerely, and honestly, I don't know what that says about me. Challenge-wise, I don't really know what I'm expecting from this area in this particular run. I mean, on the one hand, I am decked out in a suit of power armor and I have more weapons than the average American high schooler, but on the other hand, I'm the most basic bitch to ever basic their way through bitchland in Fallout World. Wasteland place. I really need to stop doing recording sessions after I've already taken my meds. A little ways in and we've encountered our first hostiles, Deathclaws and Rad Scorpions. Hooray, what a great thing to find with such a basic bitch fighter. Something I've noticed about the glowing sea portions of these runs is, generally speaking, they tend to be, well, not difficult, just kinda basic. Because of the radiation in this area, we either have to bring a suit of power armor to survive the rads, or we have to wear one of those old hazmat suits, which has like no damage protection, which you really shouldn't do. You should take the power armor. Doing it without power armor means you're basically in one hit kill range of most of the bigger enemies, but doing it with power armor basically turns every fight into a slogging match, especially for a character like this who has absolutely no way of upgrading their damage outside of finding better weapons, which I haven't really been finding, so I'm still using the starting level stuff. I think the main reason though that I choose to do this with power armor rather than just trying to run my way through naked is because, well, this one's more likely to succeed and I don't want to be stuck in this one particular area for too long. Largely because the radiation mechanic in this game is a fucking pain in the ass, and the less you have to deal with it, the better. Besides, I've already done my time playing the game without using power armor in this section. It was my naked run. You can go and watch that if you really want to. I probably shouldn't be plugging another video this late into this video, but I'm gonna. And hey look, we've got a rat scorpion buddy. Now for a fun game of which one of us is gonna kill the Deathclaw first. Judging by my damage, I'm not exactly hopeful, but stranger things have happened. I'm just gonna appreciate the fact that me and Sergeant Pinchy over here have a common enemy. At least this alliance will hold if I can avoid accidentally shooting Sergeant Pinchy in the face. Sergeant Pinchy doesn't like that. Can't really say I'm a fan myself, to be honest. Oh hey, look at that, I got the final hit. Now me and Sergeant Pinchy can go to town on each other. That sounded dirty. Oh no, Lieutenant Snips, you're here too? Why am I getting double teamed by scorpions? No, really, why am I getting attacked by a group of scorpions? They're supposed to be solitary hunters. Thanks, Bethesda. Oh hey look, we got a sarcastic thanks, Bethesda, as well. What a weird adventure this has been. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make you sit through a third slogging match in a row. All you really need to know is the rad scorpions are dead and I am not. Can I be honest with you? I really don't want to take out that third Deathclaw, so we're just gonna attack it until it runs away, then slip into Brian Virgil's cave. Hi, super mutant buddy. I'm here to learn how to break into the Institute. Who you gonna kill a courser? Okay. Before we begin the courser hunt, I am gonna dump my power armor back at Sanctuary. If I need it, I'll come back for it, but I'm kinda hoping I won't need it. Now that that's done, we have to actually get to the courser. I say that like it's a difficult thing, it really isn't. The most direct route I can take is very safe. I mean, there's a couple of raiders here and there, but they're fairly easily dispatched. To be completely honest, I probably could have just walked past these guys, but I felt like doing violence. Plus it got us another level up so I could take another point of endurance. Either way, we've already reached green tech genetics. Inside is our courser, single-handedly fighting an entire army of gunners, which would be more impressive if there wasn't so many gunners still alive in the building. Like, I get the idea that the courser is meant to be this perfect infiltration unit, but if that's the case, why do the gunners know it's here, and why isn't it constantly using a stealth boy to avoid them? Surely that would make sense. That technology literally turns you invisible, and none of these gunners have a pit boy or anything to even know it's nearby. Oh look, we got to the point in the video where Ronica just complains about Fallout 4 a lot. I'm fully cognizant of how tiring that gets, so I'll try to keep it to a minimum. No, I won't. I'm going to keep doing it because it's fun. I don't think this game will ever stop baffling me, and apparently it's getting a re-release again. I couldn't tell you why. I really couldn't. Of all the modern Fallout games, why are we doing Fallout 4 again? I'd much rather be making content about Fallout 3 or New Vegas, but I have to play them on PC, and while my PC is not terrible for this at the moment, it still doesn't run them very well. I don't know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, really. I think what really gets under my skin, though, is the fact that this re-release is apparently going to include 150 pieces of Creation Club content, because Bethesda are so lazy and incompetent they'd much rather use the work of other people than their own. Stuff like this is why I'll never get tired of talking shit about Fallout 4, it's just always the right thing to do. Sorry, I know I've been rambling a bit more than usual while clearing out this dungeon, it's just I don't really have a whole lot of commentary to provide. I expected it to be a lot harder given the fact that I have no perks to play with, but it really wasn't. It kind of feels like the game was entirely designed to account for the fact that you might not take any perks. I don't even feel like I'm playing with any significant disadvantage. I mean, yeah, my damage is a little bit shit sometimes, but it's way more consistent than it is in some runs. And yeah, I'm not working with the same damage resistance that I usually do, but then again, I did an entire run with my character in her underwear, so I'm starting to think that limiting myself to only 3 deaths was way too generous. Then again though, we are about to fight a Corsair, which does tend to give me something of a run for my bottle caps. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Let's start setting things up in our favour. We're going to plant some of these cryomines and see if we can get him to come out of the room and walk over them for some nice damage. Provided, of course, he actually trips them. He doesn't always leave this room. I think it's because he doesn't register me as being in a different room from him. On the off chance he does decide to chase me out of his room, I've got some frag mines which should be able to take out some of his limbs. This all, of course, relies on him actually— oh, nope, there we go, he tripped the mines. He's trying to come after us. Yay, that's what we wanted. Now then, Mr. Corsair, if you could just follow me down these stairs and walk over these further boom booms, then we might be in business. Sadly, Mr. Corsair saw me laying down mines and decided to stay in the room where the mines weren't, and I can't really fault him. That actually makes sense. I don't like you, but I respect your strategy. Oh yeah, and of course he comes out of the room to walk over to the one bit of place that I haven't put any bombs. And yes, I am running away like a coward when I saw the amount of damage she was outputting, thanks for noticing. I think we might have to readjust our— oh! Well, that wasn't the worst damage it could have been. I just really hate that it also triggered the mines by the stairs because he definitely didn't get caught by any of them. Don't get me wrong, I was trying to get him to hit multiple mines so he could blow himself up a little bit quicker, but I kind of forgot just how wide the blast radius was. Luckily, one of the gunners downstairs dropped a missile launcher. Let's see if this makes the battle any more doable. Oh. Yeah, I kind of forgot the missile launcher is bad if you haven't got any perks invested in Demolition Expert or big guns. And holy fuck, I am way too close to death to be walking into a wall like this. I'm missing most of my blood, of course I'm going to be a bit loopy. Well, bollocks. Okay, yes, I get the point, you don't want me here. By the Titan, I shoot a guy with a laser rifle once and he gets all pissy. Given how much damage it didn't do to him, you think he could forgive. Now, the smarter among my viewers might be wondering, Ronica, why are you using your 10mm pistol when it's clearly the worst damaging weapon you have? Because I'm stupid. I'm really stupid, in fact, because the Corsair uniform actually resists physical damage far better than it does energy damage. I don't know, maybe the rifle will do a bit better. Well, that was a good call. Hi, Corsair friend, I'm just going to take your chip that miraculously didn't get damaged when I was throwing explosives at you. Now we can take our chip to Dr. Amari, who can't decode it, but she can tell us to go and find the railroad. I probably could have just gone straight there, couldn't I? Stupid, remember? Stupid. Before I took off, though, I did stop to see if I could get some slightly better armor, and yeah, I could. Look at me, I'm metal now. I'll fully admit, though, that I do really miss the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas metal armor design. I mean, just look at that. That looks so cool. At least the male version does. The lady version looks kind of worse because video games. I will say to Fallout 4's credit, there are like, I think 3 outfits in the entire game that have the same property where the men's looks different from the woman's. Yeah, I think it's only 3. You've got the road levers, you've got the lab coat, and you've got, the casual outfit, yeah, the thing you kind of wear at the beginning of the game. And again, to Fallout 4's credit, all the armor bits basically look the same whether you're playing as a guy or a gal. I think the real shame is that most of the armor just doesn't look all that interesting. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of halfway decent pieces the longer you play the game, but I very rarely get to play the game for long enough. Like, I really like the metal armor bits with all the spikes on it, but I don't get to see them most of the time. Oh, sorry, I've once again been bitching about Fallout 4 when I should have just been doing regular commentary. Oh, feral ghouls, look at how they ghoul everything. Although, I do really miss the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas designs. I don't know, they just had this like 50s movie monster look to them, the same with the Maya lurks. Oh hey, look, I got a level up whilst praising the visual design of Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I guess the game agrees with me. Shut up, that's how it works. Anyway, as you can see, I'm only a couple of feral ghouls away from finding the railroad's HQ. But then something happens while I'm putting in the password. I make a mistake here. I don't think I've done that properly for a long time. It just goes to show that you can trust your dear Aunt Ronica to fuck up even the most basic of things. Now we just walk into this dark corridor and great googly moogly. Yeah, no, it's fine, I wasn't using those retinas. Any hoodly doodle, I have a Corsair chip and I need you to scan it. Does that sound okay? Look, even one of your most trusted people is vouching for me, a complete psychopath they know nothing about. Honestly, how the railroad is still in the fight with the Institute at this point is just, you know, it'll never not be miraculous to me, but then again, the Institute do kind of just see you as pests and not worth killing. No, their plan to murder you comes later. Anyway, Tinker Tom cracks the code on the Corsair chip and we can return to Virgil. You know what though, I still haven't decided who I'm going to join in this run, so I'm just gonna random name generate it. Here we go! Oh, look at that, I'm a psychopath again. Because we are going to need a way into the Institute at some point, I might as well be friends with the railroad for now and do the first mission, Tradecraft. Honestly, it just makes sense to get this out of the way now. Besides, if I play my cards right, by the end of this mission I can have a pile of frag mines at my disposal. All we have to do is infiltrate the former HQ of the railroad that's now crawling with an army of simps that wiped them out, and then wipe that army of simps out. With 2 of us. Fuck, do you reckon Deacon knows that I'm the main character? That's gotta be it, right? That's why he thinks we can do this. He saw the camera I have for a face and was like, yep, you're the main character, we're gonna be fine. Honestly, clearing out this place wasn't bad at all. I was definitely expecting some sort of rise in difficulty, but sadly, I think I'm a little bit too over-prepared. I really don't know where I stand on this. On the one hand, for challenge run purposes, I am quite glad I don't have to take any perks at any point because that makes this entire run possible, but on the other hand, it kind of feels weird that I can get through the base game so easily without it being a concern. I mean, fuck, we've only died once so far. I feel like normally I've got at least a couple more deaths under my belt because of clumsiness. By the Titan, that's a weird thought. I haven't even accidentally blown myself up yet. I mean, I should be happy about that, surely. And yeah, Deacon, maybe you want to stay out of that room that I just threw a frag into. A frag that somehow only killed 1 synth in that enclosed space. Sure, thanks Fallout 4. I like how that synth just looks mildly offended that this happened. Now unfortunately, Deacon is going to give me a legendary item as a thank you for completing this quest. Ew, Deacon, don't you know what I'm doing? I'll just drop it right in front of him, he's not going to mind. Let me just look in my Pip-Boy to make sure we haven't got any perks. Ah, it's nice and empty. Oh, fuckily muckily, those are cryo mines. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I do kind of like this frost effect that you get coated with after getting hit by cryo, but this white splattering could also very easily be misconstrued as something else. Anyway, let me just finish off these final synths, now we can finally get out of this depressing place. You know, I keep thinking that one day I should probably try and take this mission from the front because I always go through the sneaky entrance because that makes sense, but like, I don't think I've ever done a full frontal assault on this particular establishment. You know what, if it's feasible, I'll do it in the next one. Anyway, let's get out of— oh fuck me running! Huh. Again, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Now then, as long as I'm careful, I can gather as many of these frag mines as I can carry. I have no idea what I'm going to use them for at this point, but you never know when inspiration is going to strike. Hi Desdemona, me and Deacon are back from doing stuff. Now I know saying doing stuff makes it sound sexual, which is good, because it was. But there we go, I now have friends who can help us build the thingamabob, and I forgot to go and get the schematics. I'll be right back. Thank you very much, Verge. Now we might as well quickly go and clear out Starlight Drive-In where I plan to build the thing. I suppose I could have just walked to the Red Rocket and did it there instead. It would have been easier, but I didn't think of that. It's fine, I've only been playing this game for 10 years. What's the occasional entry-level mistake here and there? There we are, mole rats dealt with. We have a place to build our signal interceptor. I'll spare you the usual back and forth, but to my surprise, I didn't have to go on any, hunts for any parts. I know, I was surprised as well. I guess that's what 10 points of luck will do to you. So, with everything built and wired up correctly and supplied with enough power to fuel a single NFT transit— oh wait, I did that joke before. Yeah, because now's the time to worry about being repetitive. Anyway, enough messing around, let's head inside our new home. Finally, I've reached my new headquarters where I can become the villain I've always wanted to— oh crap, my child. You know, the entire reason I did this whole thing. No, wait, wrong one. Yeah, there we go, the old guy. He's pretty chuffed about the idea of us joining him down here, so he welcomes us with open arms. Aww. Following a quick meet and greet with the various division heads that run this place, we're granted our next level up. Since we're done with endurance, I'm going to put the point onto perception. Now it's time for synth retention. Some naughty synth has escaped and is doing trouble on the surface. We have to bring him back because we're the ones who have to do trouble on the surface, not him. He's taking our jobs. My little journey to Libertaria was, completely uneventful. I didn't encounter a single enemy. I guess we'll just head straight in and start doing the deed. The raiders and the turrets over here do have a bit more health than we're used to dealing with. Oh, and this particular turret is several levels above me. Oh, and it's shooting fire. I'm on the business end of the sacred flame. Why have thou forsaken me? Before we get too far in, I'm going to quickly try and get rid of the Fat Man wielder. The last thing I need is to be one hit killed by some cheating dickhead. So, that didn't work. We're just gonna give them some time to calm down. After all, everyone forgives you for shooting them in the face eventually. Well, no, actually, Courier 6 kind of made that their whole personality. It's fine, none of these raiders are video game protagonists. Okay, things have calmed down a little bit, let's get back to sniping. Where the fuck is my target? Oh, is that them? No, wait, I don't think it is. Or maybe it is? Maybe they've already swapped to their backup weapon? Oh no, wait, I can see it, that's definitely the right one. Or is it that one in the room? I'm confused. This damn fog, I should have waited for the weather to clear up a little bit. I will admit, that is one cool thing about Fallout 4 is that sometimes we have to take the weather into account for things. But just because I appreciate it doesn't mean I'm not still mad about it. Oh, you douche nozzle. Oh fuck, they fired. Oh good, they missed. And I've lost them. Well, shit. Well, no, apparently I had a shot, but I couldn't actually see them and I didn't want to waste a bullet. It's fine, we've still got targets down here we can deal with. If they'd stop going inside the boats, that is. I swear, these raiders have no respect for snipers. I mean, if I absolutely have to, I can always just walk over there and take them out from that side, but the fire-only run is still very fresh in my memory, and that did not work very well. Ooh, look at this, we might get lucky. Yeah, get rotated, idiot. Oh yeah, and now I notice I have a critical hit saved up. That would have, That would have come in handy. You know what, it's fine, the main guy is dead, we can move on. Just in case any of them are trying to pick up the Fat Man, I still want to take out as many from this side as I can. I know when they fire a Fat Man shell I only get a few seconds to make a decision, but that's way more time than I'd get if I was up in their face. Since the rest are refusing to get into sniping distance, I'm going to have to cross the water. I could take the elevator, but this way's just so much quicker. So this first raider didn't pick up the Fat Man, that's helpful. We've still got one more here that we have to be careful of though. And to my utter surprise, the second raider also didn't have the Fat Man on him. Okay, it's fine, I'm not mad or anything, it's just, oh, that's why it has no ammo left. That's, kind of a bummer. I was kind of hoping it would have at least one shell so I could use it later against the Brotherhood of Steel, but it's fine, I'm over it. Hi Gabriel the Simp, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck chuck wood? Don't look at me like that was his recall code, I swear. Now all we have to do is deal with his little honor guard. That's one, and that's two. Now we just go and report our success. Hi Sean, I did the thing. What do you have for me next, you fucking lunatic? Oh yeah, he sets up some quarters for us. Isn't that nice? You know what? Because he's been so nice to me, I'm gonna be preemptively nice to him. You know the railroad? I think we're just going to go and deal with them now. Hey, look at that, I found some inspiration for the frag mines. Once I've sufficiently pissed them off, I'm going to plant a bunch of them on the way to the entrance and try and hold up here and make it a sort of kill zone. Now I know it probably looks like a really bad idea for me to hold up in such a confined space, but it kind of worked with Kellogg, so I'm just kind of hoping we can translate that success to this particular attempt. Now granted, this corridor isn't exactly the same setup, there's no convenient corner to hide behind just in case I have to, and there are considerably more railroad agents. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Well, shit, that's 2 deaths. We've only got 1 more life. I think we need to do just a little bit more foreplanning, and also maybe don't throw a grenade at Glory while she's firing the minigun. That's always a bad idea. I don't know why I think it's a good idea. I also realised I've kind of gone straight into the assault without doing any foreplanning. Why do I do these things? I knew that if I died here, that would be the end of the run, but to my absolute surprise, this particular assault happened to work. I didn't even do anything special, I just kept pressing the trigger over and over again. I peppered in the occasional grenade, even though it was a stupid idea, although to my equally immeasurable surprise, that didn't backfire this time either. After I dealt with that tank of a woman Glory, everything else was just so much easier. She's basically the only railroad member who's not using some cobbled together weapon and actually has something approaching armor. Oh yeah, I used all the missiles dealing with the Corsair. That's a shame. Ah well, laser gun, best gun. Oh, I meant it when I said there was no strategy to this fight at all. I just stood in this corridor and fired lasers as often as humanly possible. The only time I moved was to draw more aggro so people would follow me into this corridor of murder. You know what, Deacon, you and I have history. I'll come and deal with you face to face. And just like that, the railroad have been derailed. Sorry guys, I know you were like the dictionary definition of the lesser of 2 evils. Sadly for you lot though, I've joined the greater of the 2. Well, let's head back underground. So what's next? I'm pretty sure we're attending the directorate meeting? Oh no, wait, this is the Battle of Bunker Hill. And because of what we did to the railroad, we'll actually have some hostile entities to avoid. Dum-de-dum-de-dum, walking to Bunker Hill. Ooh, free frag mines. Ah, yeah, I fully couldn't tell you what I was actually trying to say there. Hi, Corsair boy, let's go and do some questionable things. Don't get me wrong, as happy as I am that there are people who will actually fight me, I'm still going to use my elite speedrun strat. It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground. The high ground is overrated. I know I've said it before, but I'm still not entirely sure where all these railroad heavies came from. Like, I've already completely demolished their faction. What are they really hoping to achieve here? I guess there's something to be said for committing to dying for your beliefs even after everything's already fallen apart around you. I think in this main room, I'm mostly just going to let the Brotherhood of Steel, Simps, and Railroad duke it out. You know what though? I will shoot one of the turrets because I can. There we go, don't say I never do anything for you. Now it's just a case of fighting our way to the Sims. In hindsight, it probably wouldn't have been the best idea to take out the railroad even if I hadn't lost a life in the process, because that already makes this place unnecessarily treacherous, but at this point, yeah, if I fuck up, that's it, that's the run over. Fortunately enough, nothing actually went wrong. I made use of cover when I had to, only popped out for a few shots at a time, and that got us to our prize. Now to use the recall codes. She sells seashells on the seashore. Quiet nerds perp only near school. Big titty goth girlfriend. And finally, anal bleaching is best left to professionals. Christ, who chose these fucking codes? Anyway, that's us sorted. I can now loot everyone, and crap, I'm over encumbered. You know what, that's fine. Luckily, Cricket, the weapon merchant, has popped in and is now setting up shop. She's happy selling to us despite the fact I was just assaulting the fucking compound, although then again she does strike me as the kind of woman who wouldn't give a shit. So I can now sell her like 248 bottle caps worth of shite. Yay, I fully don't get why the Bunker Hill traders are held in such high regard, they can't afford shit. Anyway, Sean's brooding on top of a building somewhere, so let's go and report to him. Hey bud, the Bunker Hill's been sorted, our Sims have been returned. I'm sure it was worth going through all this effort to get 4 dudes back when we could have just, you know, built more dudes, but it's fine. That's the Battle of Bunker Hill all sorted. Huh, I thought I was closer to a level up than that. It's fine, I don't really need it. Oh, no, I did level up. It must have happened during the assault and I just didn't notice. Wait, what was I pumping this time? Oh, right, perception. Just gonna skip over the boring Institute meeting where I made the new director. I've got nothing else to say about this scene. It's finally time for us to go and do mass fusion. Before we do, I'm just gonna quickly deal with this level up I got for sitting in a chair. I really hope putting all these extra points into perception will actually make my VATS attacks a bit better. Anyway, yes, mass fusion. Not gonna lie, this one has me a bit worried. Brotherhood of Steel guys do a lot of damage and I'm still just rocking basic metal armor. I guess I could have gone and got my power armor, but I really couldn't be bothered. I dropped a hard save a minute ago, so if it feels like I really need to, I'll just reload that one, fetch the armor, and then try the thing again, is what I was trying to say. What's going on with my brain today? It's a small mercy that not every single Brotherhood of Steel person we're gonna fight is gonna be decked out in T60 power armor, because if they all were, this place would be an absolute fucking nightmare. Before I tackle the one in power armor, we're gonna quickly take out all of their fire support. That should make things a little bit easier. They are, after all, far squishier. Oh fuck me, that's not good. With the backup taken care of, we can now deal with the knight. The knight is tough. The knight's armor is deflecting almost every one of my attacks, and it only takes him like 3 or 4 shots to get me into kill range. Luckily there was some cover out on the roof that I could sort of use, but this fight took me nearly 5 fucking minutes. And it's not like I'm fighting a boss or anything, this is just a regular Brotherhood of Steel knight. I am dreading the attack on the Pridwin later. Luckily we don't have to go inside it later, we just have to, you know, assault the airport where all the Brotherhood of Steel are camped out. Oh, this was a bad move. By some crazy twist of fate, they didn't actually kill me at any point. They came close several times. If this knight had even a single stim pack on their person, they probably would have beaten me here. Luckily, they didn't. I was able to finally whittle them down. Well, that was kind of annoying and a little bit scary, but there's only going to be more of them downstairs, and assaultrons, and a sentry bot. Fuck. The elevator ride itself wasn't too bad. Most of the Brotherhood go down in a handful of shots, and apparently their training doesn't cover concepts like don't walk into a room that has an active sniper in it. I'm fully aware that with my aim calling what I'm doing sniping is, generous, but you know, it just kind of kept working. As always, about halfway down, the Brotherhood of Steel blow one of the elevator fuses, and now we have to deal with our second knight. Oh dear. If I can somehow get behind them and pull off a critical hit, we should be able to cause the power armor to have a meltdown. Of course, the caveat is we have to actually get behind the fucker. I kind of feel like this knight is wildly aware of their glaring weak spots, so it isn't going to make it easy. Like with the knight on the roof, this takes a long time. Not as long, thankfully, but like with the glowing sea earlier, this is an area of the run where my lack of damage boosting perks is really starting to make things a pain. Not gonna lie, I kind of wish I joined the Brotherhood of Steel so I got a better suit of armor and some better access to weapons. Well, live and learn. Again, let's just be thankful that most of the Brotherhood of Steel soldiers aren't wearing power armor. I don't really have another 20 hours to put into this run. So, we've made it to the basement, and you know what? Before we go in and grab the I'm gonna set some traps for the robots. We're gonna put a pulse mine where the sentry bot comes out of, and some frag mines for the assaultrons. Oh, fuck me sideways. Okay, apparently the game still registered the assaultron behind that door as a hostile, so the mine went off prematurely. I mean, it's still gonna be damaged, so you know, that's good. Wait, is it going to be damaged or is it going to have been protected by the door? It's Fallout 4, so you never really know. You know what? That's a bridge we'll cross when we come to it. For now, let's grab the I know this is a stupid bit, but I'm going to keep doing it. Now then, Madam Sentrybot, let's see what a pulse mine does to you. Did you miss it? Let me play that for you again. Yeah, so, Fallout 4, I have an aunt named Hope. Maybe I want to kill her too! Not gonna lie, that had me a little bit worried. You see, pulse mines are supposed to be really good against robots, and as we saw, that wasn't the case. And as you can see, my laser rifle damage leaves a lot to be desired. Luckily enough, she's starting to glow red now, which means she's probably gonna have to vent her heat real quick. Which, fingers crossed, will give me access to the fusion cores, and I should be able to do, I don't know, something. That was the plan going through my head anyway. No, I just whittled her down with the laser rifle. That was really anticlimactic. Now for the Assaultron sisters. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. It turns out the mines did absolutely nothing to either of them, so you know, that's cool, thanks Fallout 4. So once again, I just have to stand here and slowly whittle down the health bar. Thankfully, they're not quite as tanky as the sentry bot, plus they need a lot of time to bring their main weapon to bear. Also, I'm pretty sure that Ali Fillmore managed to aggro the other one and keep it off me for a while, so that was nice of her. Whew, that was a little bit too close for comfort. If we get hit by one part of that beam, it's really hard to not get hit by the rest of it. Luckily enough, this particular fight was a 2 against 1, so the Assaultron went down much quicker. Oh yeah, we've also got the Protectrons, but they're really not much of a worry. They're slow, clunky, and can barely hit anything. Yeah, these guys can fuck off if they think I'm sticking around to help them. Hi Ali, here's the Benjamin Adjudicator. There we go, that's another level up. I'll take one more point of perception, thank you kindly. Now I'm gonna go and do that House Divided quest. I don't know why I'm gonna go and do that, maybe I just feel bad that for years I kind of ignored it. Although it was probably a case that I wanted to see if my aggressively average character could actually talk her way through this. Fuck me, these simps are weirdly beefy. Spoiler alert, just in case you somehow had any doubts. No, I couldn't talk my way through this. I did release the gorillas hoping they would do some damage to these traitors, but that didn't work. They mostly just attacked me. I gave you freedom, Mr. Bananas, and this is how you repay me? I'm gonna make gorilla stew out of you. Thankfully enough, whilst they are quite beefy, they don't do the most damage. For some reason I thought the shotgun might make this easier, but it kinda didn't. The damage was kind of the same, only now I have to be even closer to the thing that attacks exclusively in melee. For real, I couldn't tell you why I thought this was a better idea. I couldn't tell you what was going through my head at the time. I don't think anything was going through my head at the time. I think I was probably just trying to justify keeping this shotgun on me. After all, for most of this run, I've been using the laser rifle and basically nothing else. After way too long, I finally work out the gorilla problem and can now deal with the actual traitors. Here's a little reminder for my future self. Gorillas do not make this bit easier. Although in hindsight, I probably don't need a reminder for that. Anyway, time to go and kidnap a scientist. First of all, we have to take out the gunners guarding the guy. It was a good excuse to pull out the old sniper rifle. Besides, I've got plenty of ammo for the thing. Plus, I kinda want to save all those extra energy cells for dealing with the Brotherhood of Steel later. I'm about 80% sure that they have slightly lower resistance to that kind of damage than physical, but at this point I can't be asked to double check that. There we go, gunners eliminated, house entered, scientist harassed, recruited, that's the word. Anyway, that's sorted, we're in the home stretch now. So, let's do our villain speech, head to Diamond City to upgrade their radio so the Commonwealth can hear said villain speech. For the first time in ages, I actually got all the pieces in the right place the first time. Quickly go and grab my power armor so I'm ready for the final confrontation, plug the Bourbon Aubergine into the power generator, start said power generator, then attend a directorate meeting. Well, actually head a directorate meeting, and don't worry, I was definitely listening to everything and not just playing games on my phone. With our evil plans in place, I get another level up. Wow, we've almost maxed out perception as well. And now the time has come to plot our move against the Brotherhood, since we already handled the railroad earlier. Fortunately enough, the Institute nerds have already been working on a plan to deal with this particular threat. We're gonna turn Liberty Prime against them. I have to admit that I like that even without our presence, the Brotherhood of Steel got their plans underway. It does make sense really, they're not just gonna sit around with their thumbs up their ass. The only concern is actually, reaching the robot without getting vaporized. So this will either be a smashing victory or a really anticlimactic defeat. Let's find out which. Approaching the airport, I try to avoid drawing aggro too soon, but of course I couldn't help myself. That was truly pathetic. But you know what, we don't actually have to deal with all these outside defences on our own. Our actual goal is to get inside the airport and find the devices the Brotherhood set up to stop us from relaying simps directly into them. They're not too hard to reach, but yeah, this is going to be a close one. And it's just now occurring to me that I did not take time to stock up on stim packs before I came to this. I have 27 to play with. That is not good. Still, all we have to do is destroy the anti-relay thing so we can get some backup. The simps might not be the highest quality of soldier, but because I put synth production as a priority earlier, we should have plenty of them to work with. Numbers are always a good thing. Unless your enemy has them, of course, but yeah. Luckily enough, I somehow found some missiles earlier, so we might be able to make short work of some guys. Fuck, that couldn't even kill one of the unarmored ones in one hit. This weapon is fucking awful. I will admit, given how bad it is, it has kind of inspired me to try a run with a missile launcher only, but that one can wait, I've already got another one in the works. Yeah, after months of inaction, I really wanted to get stuff done. I just have to make sure that I don't put too much on my own plate, because that causes me to burn out, and that's how we get more dry spells. Anyway, sorry, we've almost dealt with all three of the anti-relay thingamabobs. Now we have dealt with all three of the anti-relay thingamabobs. So, time for the hard part. We basically have to stand in the open on top of the scaffolding, protecting one synth that has no armor or any ability to protect itself while it uploads a virus to Liberty Prime. All the while we're going to be assaulted with everything the Brotherhood of Steel has, including the Elder. And this feels like a great time to remind everyone, I don't have any health perks, I don't have any damage perks, I don't have any damage resistance perks. Long story short, Matilda here is basically the worst option for this particular operation. The only saving grace is that I have multiple weapons for dealing with this problem. Now granted, most of them have a minimal, if any, amount of upgrades. At no point did I get lucky and find anything game-changing. All of the weapons I'm using I found in the early game. The sole exception is the missile launcher, but we've all seen how bad that is. It kinda worked against the vertibird, but to be fair, all I really had to do was snipe the minigunner out of that thing and it wouldn't have been a threat. Fortunately, if our synth buddy dies, they will just send another one to keep uploading the virus, so realistically the only goal we have is to survive. Not gonna lie, that's not gonna be an easy goal. Crap! That is also a reason that I wanted my power armor for this bit. It is incredibly easy to fall off that scaffolding, and I just don't need to be taking extra fall damage on top of the fuckload of health damage I'm already taking. I think our biggest threat right now is Elder Maxon. We really have to deal with him sooner rather than later. That's gonna be difficult for a few reasons. One, his power armor is really good. He takes basically no damage from every attack. Two, he has a Gatling laser, which can do a lot of damage to me in a very short amount of time. And three, he will heal himself if he gets low enough. Let's also take a minute to appreciate the fact that my power armor is almost entirely destroyed already. Yeah, really starting to wish that I sided with the Brotherhood of Steel now rather than the fucking Institute. I'm gonna be honest with you, viewer. This was rough. I did try to pull the old shoot him in the fusion core so his power armor melts down, but it just didn't work. I kept hitting it, but it just wasn't having any of it. There's no way around it. I'm gonna have to fight him properly. He's also got practically endless backup, despite the fact that I don't know where the fuck the Princeton are going to be keeping half these soldiers, but surely by now I should know better than to ask these kind of questions. After a while, I got really annoyed with the constant cycle of working Elder Maxon down into like a fraction of health only for him to heal. Fuck, it's like midday now. We started this assault well before dawn. Real talk, this entire battle took me over 15 minutes, and my heart was pounding for most of that because if I died here, that was the run over. In the end though, Elder Maxon did indeed go down. I survived somehow. I don't even fucking know at this point. I was honestly quite worried that these two peons here would kill me after all that work. Again though, somehow I managed to fight through. Eventually the virus was uploaded and we can get the fuck out of here. There. It's done. It's fucking done. The Brotherhood are finally dead. Now we just return to Sean, that completes the nuclear family quest, and that brings this entire run to a close. So, that run was, easier than I thought it would be, and that's even considering the fact that I probably got stuck with the worst faction to actually end the game with. I mean, yes, if I did play with the Railroad, there'd still be a Brotherhood of Steel assault, but it would only be on the police station, and we wouldn't have to deal with Maxon. This setup was surprisingly viable for most of the game. I mean, sure, there are going to be some extras that you can't get to because you don't have a lockpick skill, or you don't have a hacking skill, but the base game is entirely beatable without ever taking or using a single perk. And the fact that we did that with only 2 deaths under our belts, that was impressive. To be fair, I did say so earlier in the video that I have gotten fairly good at playing Fallout 4. I really wish I had more commentary to offer on this particular run, some great summary, but no, it just kinda works. Of course, because I've become so comfortable with Fallout 4 and I've gotten fairly good at it, I might have to swap to different games to feel some inkling of challenge when I do these runs. Or I'm gonna have to be a bit more specific about the way I challenge myself to play this game, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I've already got my next run in progress, I will tell you more about that a little bit later. For now, that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for being here, my loves, I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me that you take time out of your day to watch and listen to the silly things that I do, and I also want to do a shout out to my friend Jordan, who helped me design the thumbnail for this particular episode. I was really drawing a blank on that one. He's got an Instagram account where he does poetry, so I'm going to link that in the description as a little extra thank you to him. Stay safe out there, my dears, drink some water, take your meds, hug a plushie, and tell some dickhead you don't like that they're a dickhead. Fuck, that's going to be me, isn't it? Nah, but for real, take it easy out there, I love you all, and we will see you next time.